Welcome to the Writers Clinic. In today's episode, we are going to look at the state of comedy in Kenya. I hear some people think Kenyan comedy has come of age. Others describe it as a renaissance of Kenyan theatre that will see us claim our place in the world of theatre and film. This has led to a renewal of interest in theatre arts in our universities, and now virtually each one of them is struggling to start a theatre and film studies department. I had first-hand experience of this upsurge of interest from my 10-year-old son, who declared that he would like to study what he called acting at the university. Of course, he had been inspired by the comedy that he watches on TV. True to his declaration, he proceeded to the university to study theatre and film studies. But allow me to give my views on the comedies we find on social media and those aired on both television and radio stations in this country. I think if the purpose of comedy is to elicit laughter, then our kind of comedies only elicit nothing but painful laughter. Our comedies are crude, rudimentary in all respects. This is an art that relies on nothing but ethnic stereotypes. At its best, it panders on our idiosyncrasies with no effort to satirize them. I have sampled virtually all of them, starting, of course, with those on mainstream media, which provide the official template that is used by all the others. Let me say that our comedians, in most cases, act like hopeless clowns and tramps, and they are neither humorous nor entertaining to civilized minds. They at best appear on stage as pathetic creatures, driven not by ideology and knowledge, but their own ignorance of the purpose of their existence. I can bet on one thing. If one were to edit out ethnic stereotyping, then Kenyan comedy would have nothing else to offer. We can very easily describe the structural schemata of the crude humor that our artists endeavor to present. Let us first look at the category of those who operate on the radio platform, especially in the mornings. You must have noticed that every radio station is struggling to have one of them. This group relies on our inability to express ourselves competently in Kiswahili and English because of our mother tongue influence. The clowns are made to act like idiots in the true sense of the word by being incoherent, unreasonable, and overtly ridiculous. The television comedians follow the same script, but because of the advantage of using audio and visual medium, they try to bring the ethnic stereotypes on stage by profiling members of various ethnic communities as being greedy, thieves, proud, and gluttonous. They also dip into the dietary habits of various ethnicities and attempt to ridicule them in a manner that is highly insensitive, I should say. What is so humorous about saying that some of us eat ugali, mokimo, githeri, chicken, or fish? What comes through from this type of performances is that the framers of these shows seem not to have any idea of our historical realities and have never reflected seriously on their responsibilities when dealing with the question of language and identity, and of course, nationhood. To them, we should rather speak English the way the British speak it. They blame victims of an imposition and ignore the serious issues of our time. Ultimately, we are being treated to drama that is shameful and shallow and which can only appeal to uneducated and unsophisticated minds. This type of morbid comedy does not ridicule the individual's idiosyncrasies in society, but mocks our integrity and our existence as a nation of nations. Our comedians make some of us cry instead of making us laugh. Of course, some of the utterances they make are obscene, vulgar, and dirty. Such humor is irrational and intellectually void. I suspect this is perhaps a product of the fact that the comedians rarely do their homework. This is visible from their display of minimal understanding of qualities of sophisticated humor. A fractured country like Kenya needs humor that enlivens and stimulates us to reflect on our lives. I should dare say that what is funny about our comical efforts on TV is that there is nothing funny about it. If our humor has to be useful, then it has to confront our problematic history or injustices rather than prejudices. It should help redefine our relationships as a people rather than widen the rifts between different peoples. To situate our humor in the ignorant world of those whose lives are controlled by myths about other peoples and use it to intensify their fears is to be irresponsible. And indeed, that is irresponsibility at its best. If I may ask, where is the humorous aesthetic experience when you laugh not at the person who believes that members of a given community are inferior, but instead foreground this fallacy as true? this river of refuse that flows in our comedies has what I may call an ominous smell than that of the rivulets that flow in the deprived side of the streams in Nairobi. I think that our humor ought to be ideological and aspire to educate and not to entrench ethnic stereotypes. We should see it as a change agent rather than art for its own sake, which does not satirize evil, but rather exalts evil. I think we need serious thinking on how to make comedy to work for us and make us laugh and not cry. I do not believe in the crap of giving the public what it wants. We have to set the agenda of discouraging ethnic stereotypes. There is nothing humorous about saying people from certain ethnic communities are this or the other. If you are an ethnic bigot, try and exercise it elsewhere and not in art. That brings us to the end of today's episode of The Writers Clinic, in which we focused on the state of comedy in Kenya. On behalf of my sound controller Pambi and my cinematographer Neka, I would like to welcome you again and again to other episodes of The Writers Clinic, coming to you from Kahawa Sukari Estate, Kahawa Sukari Avenue 1335.